please tell me what happened?
Well, you see, I was in my backyard gardening when I heard gunshots. And it was coming from my neighbor's backyard, so I peeked over the fence and there they all were. There was blood everywhere.
And around what time did this all occur?
Around 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. That's all for now.
Why are you questioning me like I did something wrong? What about you? What makes you right for this job?
Well, miss, I did go to Valencia College for 2 years. Then I transferred to UCF and received my degree in criminal justice. After I joined the law enforcement and got my law enforcement certification and became a police officer. After a couple years of being a police officer, I took the detective's exam and got promoted.
Why did you go to Valencia and then UCF?
Well, I decided to start at Valencia because I wasn't sure what career I wanted to take. But then, and it was also a cheaper school, but then I transferred to UCF, and it was because I thought it was a great school for what I wanted to study, and it was cheaper than the school I originally thought I would go to, which would be...
Well, I don't think I could ever go to college. I really hate high school.
Well, college is very different from high school. In college, you have you learn to act properly, and you don't really need permission to use the restroom or to actually raise your hand and ask for permission to go to the restroom. Also, if you do miss a class and if you miss too many classes, you automatically get dropped out. It's not like they call your parents and give you a warning or anything like that.
But where can I find any help on the college campus?
You can find tons of help on a college campus. There are many learning resources available on a college campus. You can always go to the library, where you can use your computers, and there's also use the internet and do projects and stuff. You can go to the Answer Center. If you have any questions about anything, even your financial aid, which is where I would go to ask about my financial aid, you can go to the Writing Center, and they help you on any paper you have for any class. Also, there's also this thing called the co-curricular. I went to one that's called 10 Years Later, which is we write a letter to ourselves with how we wish, how it would be in 10 years, what school we did, what job we'd have gone to. And yeah, I wrote my letter thinking I was going to be a forensic doctor, and you talked about where you wanted to live. But obviously, things changed, and I decided to be a homicide detective instead. And one of the major reasons why we went to these co-curriculars was because of this class I was taking in college my freshman year. It was a New Student Experience class, SLS, and I thought it was very helpful for our future.
Oh, really? That sounds really cool.
It is. And what are you interested in being when you grow up?
I want to start a business.
Well, if you do want to start a business, I recommend you read this book called Start Something That Matters by a guy named Blake Mikowski. He's the creator of Tom's Shoes. And it's a company where you buy a pair of Tom's shoes and he gives one to a child in need in a country where he would use them. In his book, he talks about how his company, how he expanded it, and he gives helpful tips about starting your own business. But if you do decide to change your mind and not start a business, you should still read the book. You can still read it, and it can help anyone who wants to join a business, who wants to work for a business, and either way. And he talks helpful hints about trusting others and making mistakes and other things that you do when you're working. Here, I have the book for you. Yay!
Well, how come you became a detective?
The reason I became a homicide detective was because I wanted to solve crimes. I wanted to solve mysteries. I wanted to help others. And I totally believe in serving justice if it needs to be served. And I think it's just, I love the whole problem-solving thing with the homicide cases and observing evidence and going into court and justifying and things. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Well, thank you for your time, and please have a nice day.
Thank you. Can you believe this?
Unfortunately, things like this happen all the time.
I do not know how you balance all this work.
Well, being a detective, you have to know how to manage your time management. It's extremely important. You need to be able to balance your work, whether it's investigative work or getting into the scene of a crime and collecting evidence, filing paperwork, testifying in court. You even need to keep everything organized and planned out. I usually, personally, I keep a schedule of everything that's going on.
What advice would you give me if I was going to move up to a detective position?
Well, someone once told me that the most important thing about remembering to be a detective would be using your logical reasoning.
Yeah.
And to many of the cases that we have solved have been done through major breakthroughs that happen through deep thought.
How do you keep yourself together when you see some of the homicide cases?
Well, becoming aware of my emotional intelligence has allowed me to know how to act and work around all these crime scenes and seeing people there dead on the floor and blood splatter. I can handle that. And because of learning that, I've been able to cope with it, and I can monitor my own emotions.
Well, partner, I'll see you back at the office.
All right then, sir.
Toodaloo. Well, I'll see you back at the office.
Wait. You hear that?